Welcome to this introduction to Pandas, the Python library. Pandas is a Python library which is used for data analysis and modeling. Think of it as an add-on module. Unfortunately, it has nothing to do with real pandas. Its name is derived from the term panel data. It also has nothing to do with real Pythons. Python is a general-purpose programming language named after Monty Python's Flying Circus. Pandas is used to quickly and easily manage data tables within Python. Features include data manipulation and indexing, merging and joining data sets, reading and writing many different formats, the ability to automatically perform data alignment and handle missing or messy data, which is a key component of big data, and the ability to slice, fancy index, and subset these large data sets. One example of Pandas being used is to build a specialized system for automatically removing identifying information from medical data so that it can more easily conform to HIPAA and GDPR rules and be more easily shared. Pandas is also being used in the medical field to track metrics for patient care, quality improvement, regulatory, and financial purposes before, during, and after medical transplants. eMammal and Wildlife Insights, camera trap data platforms, which are run by the Smithsonian, Conservation International, and many others, are currently using Pandas to organize data sets before they're ingested into these systems. Here are some basic examples of programming using Pandas. First, you import the library and name it PD to make future commands simpler. Next, we use pd.read_file to import our file. Then we can name this file. I've named it df1 for data frame 1. And from there, we can use df1 to select a column. Then we can filter the column using different variables. I've filtered the column date by any date greater than 1980. But you can also use Boolean terms, such as 2 equal signs for equals, or exclamation mark equals for does not equal. Next, you can also use df1 to sort values, and you can sort in ascending order or descending order. And then last, you can use df1 to describe what's in the data frame. And this will output the count, mean, standard deviation, min, 25%, 50%, and 75%, as well as the max and the data type. Here's one example of me using Pandas. This is a CSV that I've been working with at the zoo, the San Diego Zoo, to upload it into the eMammal and Wildlife Insights platform. So as you can see, this CSV has a lot of information and actually goes for 220 rows. Here, using 3 simple lines of code, I've made it into a completely organized table. I've simply imported Pandas as PD, which I mentioned before. Then I've imported NumPy as NP, which I'll explain a bit later, and then done that same code pd.read_csv and then the name of the file. Limitations and concerns with Panda. One concern that's been brought up is that version 1.0 hasn't actually been released yet, which is true, but that has less to do with the development of Pandas and more to do with the API. Pandas was actually first introduced in 2008, so it's had 11 years to mature and stabilize. However, it's not yet reached a point at which the API only allows changes between major releases. Another concern is that it's shifting towards method chaining, which is a way of programming where you have multiple calls in a single statement, which raises the readability of the script and allows for more efficient order of operations for the computer, yet it's much harder to debug because it's harder to spot where exactly errors are occurring. However, many languages are moving in this direction, and I don't think that this is a fault necessarily of Pandas on its own. And the final concern is that there are many other programs which can perform similar operations, which is true. Panda is simply one tool among many, and I find it useful, but it doesn't have to be for everyone. Overall, if you want to manipulate tables and data within Python, Pandas is a useful tool which was built expressly for that purpose. I like it because you can do everything in one place and in one programming language, instead of having to switch between different programs. As with many things, Pandas is not perfect. However, for users just starting to manipulate large data sets, the simplicity of the language and the strength of the library make it a strong option. If you're interested in downloading Pandas, you can go to the GitHub website, but you should know that it requires Python 2.7, NumPy, which is a numbers library, or module as I like to think of them, and matplotlib, which is a plotting library. If you'd like more help, there are many documentation and tutorials at pandas.pydata.org and lots of training options online. I like DataCamp, which has online platform and app and a strong community forum. And there's also learnpython.org, geeksforgeeks.org, and many, many YouTube tutorials. I hope you enjoyed this explanation of Pandas, the Python library.